Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes, and I want it all from the...
Hello, everybody, and welcome to my video today. We're going to jump right in and get started. You saw a pile of stamp sets that I had. Those are retired stamp sets. I just needed some sentiments, and so I grabbed some of my old stamps. And then I had an embossing folder there, and you'll see that again in just a second. And then I have some green ink. It's garden green ink, and then I have some garden green um, cardstock here. So I'm just going to start by cutting that at 4 1/4. That's going to give me a A2 size card at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'm going to take this second piece and I'm going to trim that down to 4 inches by 5 1/4 because this is the piece that's going to be my card front. I cut two of these because this technique I've never tried and I wasn't sure exactly if I would do it right. So I wanted to have another panel just, ready to go. And the first time I do this, you're going to see that I mess it up a little bit. I catch my mistake and I'm able to correct it before moving forward. But I left it in the video because I just wanted you to see that when you're trying something new, it doesn't always work out. I mean, I know we watch these videos and we see the process of somebody doing something and then the end result, 15 minutes later, 10 minutes later is this beautiful project, but we often don't see the times that it messes up or that we have to start again or do things over. And so I just wanted you to see that. So I'm taking this embossing folder. Now this is a 3D embossing folder, which means the embossing part of it is really thick. So this first time around, I am inking the inside of my embossing folder. Now I'm doing this wrong right now and I don't realize it. So right here is where I realize that I've done it wrong. So this would potentially be the back of the card, the back of the card front, because that's the back of the embossing folder. So what I'm going to do is grab a wipe and I'm going to wipe this off. I get my fingers so inky. And the next tip for you is just use a paper towel to clean the ink off. By using a baby wipe, it makes it a wet mess. It just spreads the ink around. And I did not catch on to this until I had done it 4 times and my hands were basically green from the ink. So I catch on in a second and I just start using paper towels because I realize I need a paper towel to dry the embossing folder. Otherwise, it's going to be wet when I go to do my cardstock. And so then, I end up realizing. But so I'm going to clean this off because I realize if I do it on that side of the embossing folder, then it's going to be the back of the embossing part or the embossing folder part, and that's not going to work well. So you want to ink up the front of your embossing folder. And then I can already tell as I'm inking up this front part of this that the design is different. And what I'm doing is I'm just pouncing that ink. I wanted you to see this. I'm not pushing it into the embossing folder. I'm pouncing it up and down without pressing the ink pad into the embossing folder because I just want the design to be picked up. I don't want the ink to be in all the crevices. So I close it very gently and then I'm going to keep that pinched together and I'm going to bring my embossing machine. This is a Sizzix. I don't have the new Stampin' Up! One, the cut and emboss machine, because I already had this Sizzix. I actually have 3 of these and I didn't really think there was a point in getting the Stampin' Up! One just because it was a Stampin' Up! One. I have the mini one from Stampin' Up!, but I don't have the big one, but it'll do the same thing. So whichever die cutting machine you have, some people have the electric ones. I forget what the electric ones are called. This is just an old Big Shot, basically, a Sizzix Big Shot. I liked it because of the design. It matched my craft room. So I take this out now, and you have to get the plates correct because this is a thick embossing. It's a 3D embossing folder. Your plates will be different when you put it in your die cut machine. So I'm going to very gently open this up and I'm already loving it. The design is amazing. It is a little bit splotchy, but that is how it's going to be because of this technique. It's not going to be really crisp. I'm going to hold it for you in just a second. I took it out with my tweezers, but you can see my hands are so full of ink. So you can see the design there is a little bit splotchy, but that is the technique of what you're doing. I don't know if embossing folders that are not 3D, I don't know if they will work as well. I didn't try it. I pulled out a snowflake embossing folder that wasn't a 3D one. I was going to try it, but I ran out of time. So this is going to be a really simple card. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to add some foam to the back of my card piece. I just get these foam pieces I get on Amazon. I found a pretty good deal on these, and I get them. I just have it on a subscription, and I get it like every 3 months. I get a little shipment of this, and I like it because these panels can go all the way across your card, and then the little pieces that I cut out, I always save, and then I use for like sentiments or whatnot. So that is going to be on the full back part of that card front. And the ink soaks into the paper really quickly, and it's not really smearing or getting on my fingers anymore once it came out of the embossing folder. That embossing folder, when it goes through your machine, it really presses that ink into your cardstock. But I already love this so much. It's really, really pretty. I love it in the green, this garden green, and the tone on tone effect. So now what I want to do is have a sentiment, and I really wasn't sure what to do about the sentiment. This is a technique that I saw Sarah Douglas do on Instagram. I just saw a very quick Instagram video from her, and I had never tried it, and I wanted to try it. And she did a sentiment a little bit different, and the sentiment that she used I didn't have. So I just needed to pick something different. So I don't have that many Christmas sentiments from this year. So I just went back and looked through all my stamp sets. I keep all of my Christmas stamp sets. I rarely get rid of any of my Christmas stuff. And so I just looked through some sentiments to find one that I thought would work. And I'm going to end up using the Warm Christmas Wishes. And so I'm going to grab a bigger circle just from my die cut container, and that is just from the stitched, they're not stitched circles, they're the Stylish Shapes dies. That is what those shapes are from, and I just have a container where I have a bunch of them already cut. And then I want to use cherry cobbler, golden green, garden green, old olive, and cherry cobbler are my favorite Christmas colors, that red and green. I love the tradition of red and green colors at Christmas. So I'm going to stamp this in cherry cobbler. It stamps really, really nicely. I was happy to see that nothing smeared. So that was really good. And then that's going to be it. I'm going to start to put the card together. And that's going to be the entire design of the card, which turned out beautifully. And look at how perfectly that fits in that circle. It could not fit any better. So it says Warm Christmas Wishes. I'm going to end up putting a little bit of gold thread in a second off camera. I'm going to be looking for that, but I'm going to look for my gold thread, and I will put that behind the sentiment, and then I will add some sequins. So you'll see that in just a second. I'm going to be off camera for a minute digging through my stuff trying to find that. So I just thought I would take the opportunity to thank everybody for joining me for Craftmas. This is day 14 that you are watching. And if you're unfamiliar, if you're new to my channel and you are wondering what this is, I have posted a video since the very end of November, the last day of November through today. I have posted video every day for Craftmas 2022. I've gotten so much wonderful feedback, and I do plan on doing it again next year. I already am excited to do it again next year. And for anybody who is following along, if you want to follow along, all you have to do is comment on one of the videos and say, hey, I love to post for Craftmas. And you don't have to do it every day like I'm doing it. I know there's a couple people who've just done it a couple days and they've joined in, but I will link your name, your YouTube channel in the YouTube description below if you would like to join along. So thank you for those that are joining along. And I'm trying to remember to put that information every day into the YouTube description. So I just found some sequins. At first I was going to use this old olive color, but then I find these other green ones that match a little bit better. So I'm going to end up using those sequins on there. And then as I'm putting this on, I'm wanting to add some twine or something. And I think that maybe I have some gold thread left from years ago. It's been retired for several years, but we used to have gold and silver thread. So I'm going to look for that, and then I will put that behind the card. So the rest of this week, I will have videos for you. I will have another card video, I think, tomorrow for you. And then on Friday, I'm going to be doing a live with Pip, and we are going to be talking about our upcoming paper party retreat. I was so excited to get shipping confirmation from Stampin' Up! Today that all of my pre-order stuff shipped. So I was so glad about that. And as you're watching this, you'll be seeing this on day 14. On day 15, on December 15th, Stampin' Up! Is offering free shipping all day for orders that are $75 or more. So if you order on the 15th to get free shipping, I will send you a pack of handmade cards. And then you will also get the ordering special for this month. But I have several packs of my handmade cards, and they are packaged up in a package with envelopes and everything. And so if you order on the 15th, I will send you a pack of handmade cards with the envelopes. And they are just all the ones I've done over the last few years. I always end up with so many cards because I make so many cards for my channel that I would just love to send them off to you. So that will be on the 15th. So all day, December 15th, Stampin' Up! Is offering free shipping. So here I am. I just added that thread. I just added a couple dots of adhesive, and then I just press all of that thread down onto the cardstock, and then the adhesive from the sentiment, the foam on that sentiment, will also hold down that thread. And it's a little bit hard to see in the video here because that thread is so thin, but you can see it in the photos. And I will have a blog post up for this card, so there'll be more photos over on my website, and the blog post is always linked in the YouTube description below. So now I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife to add these sequins. Funny story, I just recently purchased this like jewel picker thing that is supposed to like help with like the placement of sequins or jewels. And I thought, oh, that looks like so cool. Like I will pick one of those up and get one of them, and like it'll be great. And my X-Acto knife works exactly how I need it to, and I've not even used that little tool. So that's funny. The X-Acto knife just is what seems to work for me. So I'm just adding those in the exact same way you always see me add these to my card. I'll have to pull out a couple more to finish up the last couple sequins at the top, but I will add those. And that is my card for today. So I hope that you enjoyed it. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. It would be really great if you could just take a moment and hit the subscribe button. You don't have to hit the bell button if you don't want to get all the notifications. I know a lot of my YouTube people that I follow, I don't have the bell on because I don't want to get notified all the time. But if you could hit that subscribe button, maybe give this a thumbs up, that would be so helpful to me and my channel and supporting the videos that I make, and I would really appreciate it. So I hope that you enjoyed this card. Warm Christmas wishes to you and your family over the holidays, and I will catch you guys tomorrow in my next video. Here on the screen are 2 more of my most recent videos, and you can click on those and watch. They will be some of the Craftmas videos, and then there will be another video there. So you can click on those and watch those if you would like. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you tomorrow.